Good day and welcome back to the Family Cyber Clinic. For the past 3 weeks, we have been discussing how to protect our social media accounts from hackers and rogues. We have already covered Facebook and WhatsApp. Please click on the playlist showing in the info card to see the contents of those videos. This week, we're going to be discussing how to secure our Instagram account from hackers and rogues. Before we do, I'll ask those who are visiting this platform for the very first time to subscribe. Please click on the bell so that you'll be alerted when content like this is uploaded each week. And of course, don't forget to like and share if this information is beneficial to you. Okay? All right. So this week, we're going to mainly cover two things. The first, controlling your visibility on Instagram by setting your account to private. And then we're going to discuss two-factor authentication. By default, anyone can see your profile and posts on Instagram. You can make your account private so that only followers you approve can see what you share. If your account is set to private, only your approved followers will see your photos or videos. So how do we set our account to private? Before we do, please keep in mind that the business profiles, so if you have a business Instagram account, you're not able to set that account to private. You have to switch over to a personal account before you can set it to private. I thought I would drop that in so that you don't wonder why it's not showing, okay? So to set your account to private from your Instagram app on an iOS or an Android phone, you simply open Instagram like so, click on the profile icon. Then you should see 3 horizontal lines. That's basically the menu. You see it at the top right of your screen. Click on those 3 horizontal lines. And then if you look down, bottom right, you see settings. Click on settings. A context menu will appear. That's just a simple menu. So scroll down and click on privacy. And then click on account privacy. There will be a toggle button, and that toggle button is what you click to make your account private. Okay? You just click it and voila, done. Okay? So there's some things you need to keep in mind about private accounts. I've sort of hinted, but I'll give you a few. Private posts you share to social networks may be visible to the public depending on your privacy settings for those networks. For example, a post you share to Twitter that was set to private on Instagram may be visible to the people who can see your Twitter posts. So it's easy to think that the privacy thing is not working, but once you cross platforms, unless you've set privacy in the other social media platforms, it will not carry through, so beware of that. Second one, once you make your account private, people will have to send you a follow request to see your posts, your followers list, or your following list. Okay. Third, follow requests appear in activity where you can approve or ignore them. So if you want the people who are looking to see your stuff, if you want to see where those requests are, they'll be in your activity area. Okay. The fourth, if someone was already following you before you set your posts to private and you don't want them to see your posts, you can block them. Okay. And the last one, people can send a photo or video directly to you, even if they're not following you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to discuss is two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is a security feature. If you set up two-factor authentication, you'll be asked to enter a special login code or confirm your login attempt each time someone tries accessing Instagram from a device Instagram don't recognize. There are two-factor authentication methods you can use with your Instagram account. The first is a text message. The second is an authentication app. We'll be focusing today on the text message option. Okay? So to enable two-factor authentication, you do the following. Okay, so you open Instagram. Again, click on the menu button, the three horizontal lines, top right. Then click on settings, which you should see at bottom right, so around about middle. Click on security and select two-factor authentication. Then click get started. Then you'll be presented with those two options I mentioned earlier. You have text message and you have authentication app. Select text message. At this time, you'll be prompted to enter your phone number. Just enter your phone number. Okay? So once entered, like so, Instagram will send you a 6-digit code. So you wait a bit to get the code. Okay, and once you receive the code, enter the code you received. Once correctly entered, you have successfully enabled two-factor authentication. Now, if you lose your phone or are unable to receive a code via SMS or authentication app, you can use recovery codes, which Instagram shows on the screen after successfully enabling the two-factor authentication. Instagram will urge you, as you can see, to take a screenshot. And that's it. Okay? Before we park this, I'd like to share some other things you can do to help your Instagram account to remain safe. We've said this time without number, and I'm going to repeat it. The first on the list is pick a strong password. And by strong, it's just a combination of at least 6 numbers, letters, and punctuation marks. However you want to mix it up. The more complex, the better. Okay? It should be different from other passwords you use elsewhere on the internet. And like we've said again, if you look at the info card in the playlists, you will see a video that talks about this. Change your password regularly, especially if you see a message from Instagram asking you to do so. Changing your password on Instagram and other sites helps to keep your account secure and prevents you from being hacked in the future. Another one, never give your password to someone you don't know or trust. And the last, log out of Instagram when you use a computer or a phone you share with other people. Certainly don't check the remember me box when logging on from a public computer, as this will keep you logged on even after you close the browser window. Okay? I think that should keep you pretty secure on Instagram. I'll ask you to review your Instagram profile and secure your account without delay. As we do each week, a friend shared this scam on a WhatsApp forum, and I told him that I was going to share it with you today. It's common practice when you go to a hotel that you hand over your credit or debit card to the reception, and they'll use it to secure or guarantee the payment whilst you're in the hotel. Now, rogues have picked on this loophole, if you may. They'll simply call your room number, not specifically yours. They do it at random, but let's just assume that it's your number that they've called. They'll call your number sounding quite professional. And you're likely not going to suspect because you have given your card, because everybody gives a card to guarantee a payment. And they'll ask you to verify the long number and the 3 digits on the back of the card. It's a scam. Now that I say it to you, you can see how, susceptible or vulnerable those who go to the hotel are, because you won't think of it. But scammers, the rogues, the hackers are exploiting this loophole, and they're calling in, and they've scammed a few people of a lot of money. Okay? So what should you do? Well, if you receive the call, tell the caller that you will go directly to the reception to sort it out yourself, and politely, as we always say on this channel, hang up the phone. If the call was legitimate, you can advise the reception that it's best practice to resolve all credit card complaints face to face. You tell them that you're part of the Family Cyber Clinic. Hey. But of course, if it was not legitimate, you must advise the reception that people are trying to call to scam, those who are in the hotel, and so that they can look to do something about it. But it is happening. And as I said, my friend shared it on the forum, and the person who mentioned it was scammed, and he's still recovering. That's the news this week. Stay safe, okay? And again, as we do each week, the PowerPoint for this week: the wisdom of the wise keeps life on track. The foolishness of fools lands them in the ditch. I'm your host, Cyber Pastor Lawrence Edem. See you next week. God bless and goodbye.